So anyways, they released us for chow, and we go to this chow hall, which it's literally like a huge cafeteria, like a titanium, aluminum like building, windows. You walk in, it's literally like you would see in high school. You have your long rows of tables with the chairs attached to them, like those folding tables. You go around the perimeter to the buffet line, where you're going up just like as if you were in high school or college, and you're going to get your tray of food. You pick up the tray, you walk through, and they'll put like a slop of the whatever the meal is, and the next person puts on the rice or the starch, the next person the vegetables, and then the next person whatever was on the line. Then you take your tray. And I thought this was great because compared to the detention centers, you were getting more food. The food looked decent. And they also had like a salad bar, a create your own salad bar. It had like lettuce, tomato, onions, a couple different dressings. They had a soda machine where they had like all the knockoff sodas in a dispenser. They had like a milk machine. They had dessert options. You could pick between like pudding or Jell-O. Like I thought it was great. But I'm all alone. I had made friends with this one Spanish guy, who had never been in the feds before. He had served time in the state, and now he just got like a 5 or 6 year drug sentence. And he was kind of like walking with me. We had played cards. We had gotten friendly with each other at the detention center at Brooklyn. But ultimately, he was Spanish, and he rolled with the New York car. But he hadn't really found his people yet. They gave him a care package, but he was still navigating, and we were similar age, so we stuck together. And so me and him go and sit down at this table that had like really pretty much mostly white guys. When you're looking around and based off TV and movies, you're going to sit with the people that look like you in prison. So we go and sit at this table, and there's some Spanish guys there, and we sit down, we start eating, and I'm chowing down. Like I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this meal. I've been living off bag lunches all day, and the detention center, like I'd spent Thanksgiving in my first holiday at the detention center, and that was terrible. The food, everything just sucked. You eat on holidays, you eat a meal at like 10 a.m. because they serve you early. You eat it, and they give you a bag lunch for the day.
Did they have like turkey and mashed potatoes and stuff?
They have all that. At like the camp and stuff, when I would get later to my on in my prison journey, the meals were actually nicer. The detention center sucked, but like on Christmas we got a Cornish hen, a full bird. One year we got a steak, like a strip steak. Wow. You get a Christmas bag where they give you a bunch of like Keebler's cookies and Doritos and all of these cool things. And like it's like picture items from a vending machine put into a Ziploc bag. Now they've gotten smaller in recent years. And then they would have specialty items on the commissary like oysters or like bagged oysters or clams or all these cool stuff or different chocolate bars.
Nice.
So I'm sitting at this table and I start eating, and a couple of people like across from me like stop eating. And one guy, like this big bald white guy, is like saying, "Hey, you. And I'm not really paying attention. I'm just eating. I knew you mind your own business. I had learned from the detention centers, don't look in other people's cell. Don't go in anyone's cell without permission. Don't do anything. Just keep to yourself. And so I'm just eating. And then he finally like bangs on the table and he's like, "You, I'm talking to you." And I look up and I'm like, me, looking behind me too, like seeing like, is it really me? And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Who are you? Like, where are you from? What's going on?" And, I give him my name. I tell him where I'm from. I'd say I just got here. And he's like, "This table is for the good white boys." And I'm like, "Okay, what do you mean by like good?" He's like, "You have to have your paperwork in good standing to sit here." And I look at him and I'm like, "Yeah, my paperwork's fine." I don't even know what paperwork is. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure it's fine." Like I don't know what to tell you. And he's like, what are you here for? What's your case?" And I said, "I'm here for fraud. I went to trial." And he looks at me and he's like, "That's what they all say." And I'm like, what do you mean that's what they all say? Who is they? And I had no idea that the cover for a lot of these white sex offenders in prison where they would automatically say they're there for fraud. And I also didn't know that I looked really young. I still look young now, but I looked even younger then. A really baby, pudgy face.
Are you still like 190? Or 290?
Yeah, I was about 290. I was chubby. I was a big boy. This is like literally my first couple months in prison. I look young. I had these glasses, which coincidentally all the chomos would wear, like those black framed glasses, these thick like Nike glasses I had on.
You're a classic chomo.
Yeah, I was literally fit the image of it, and they would all say it's a cover. And also what was working against me was that there was no one really my age in prison for white collar things. You would see gun cases or drug cases, but white collar was very rare for my age. So he said, that's what they all say. And he said, you have to show your paperwork to sit here. And I was like, well, where do I get the paperwork? I'm sure I could find it right now. Do I go to like a case manager or a counselor? He's like, you have to get it from your attorney, and then you have to show it to us and check it out. And I said, okay, yeah, no problem. And I continue eating. And he's like, you have to get the fuck off the table now. Like, you cannot sit here until, you show this paperwork. And I'm like, well, where do I sit? And he points behind me, and I look around, and it's a table full of white guys that are literally sex offenders, chomos, old white guys with the glasses, unshaved beards, and they're just looking at me like I'm fresh prey, just staring at me. And, there was two options in that moment. You either stand up for yourself and, fight the biggest dude and go out with a bang, or you leave the table. And I did, what anyone I think in my position would do, given my background circumstances, was I got up and left the table and went and sat with the other guys.